If you clicked on this video, you're probably trying to figure out what gear you need to get started saddle hunting. So in this video, I'm gonna walk you through all of the gear that I use. I've officially hit 6 full years of saddle hunting, and every year I fine tune my equipment to try to make it as efficient as possible. And what I have right here, I truly believe is about as good as you could possibly get as far as saddle hunting gear. The first thing you'll probably notice, it's all Latitude Outdoors. They're a huge supporter of my channel. They're incredible hunters, great group of guys, but they also make awesome products. So first, let's start by running through the list of gear that you need. First things first, you need a saddle. Pretty obvious. This is the Maverick from Latitude. It's a very good price point saddle, and it's one of the most comfortable saddles that I've ever sat in. Then you need a climbing method, or a way to actually get up the tree. You need a platform to stand on. The knee pads are more of a nice to have than a must have, but I would still put them on your list. And then lastly, you need a backpack or a way to carry all that stuff into the woods. So let's start with the saddle. And I have other videos that outline how to actually put these on, how to wear them in the tree, how to hang from the tree and all of that. For the sake of this video, I want to make it strictly about the gear and what I've done to these things. So again, this is the Maverick from Latitude Outdoors. As you can see, I have a dump pouch on my left hip, and that is where I keep my lineman belt and my tether. They live in there at all times, and they never leave those pouches aside from when I'm actually up in the tree. They go right back into that pouch, and they don't come out until the next time I'm hunting. On the other side, I have a Doyle's bow hoist, and I have it in this little pouch from Custom Gear Modifications. But basically what this is a retractable bow hoist that's gonna let out line as I ascend the tree. My bow will be on the ground. It's gonna let out line as I climb, and then when I get to the top of my tree and I get set up, I can simply pull my bow up and I'm ready to go. And then as I pull the bow up, it's gonna retract back into itself, so I'm not coiling up rope and having to deal with tangled up lines. This thing is a lifesaver, and it saves a ton of time. I've had other people comment on my videos suggesting a retractable dog leash will work just as well. Whatever works for you, but some type of retractable line, I highly recommend. On that right hip as well, I have a plastic carabiner. And these things are super cheap. I buy them in like 15 packs on Amazon. And what I do with those is I actually clip into my sticks. So as I'm climbing in the tree, all of my sticks are off of my right hip, and I'm able to take one off at a time as I ascend the tree. So they're all right there with me, accessible as I need them. On the very back of the saddle, I have another one of those plastic carabiners, the same size. And I've played with a lot of different ways to attach your platform to the back of your saddle while you climb. This is the best one that I've found for me personally. But basically, I'll take my platform, and while I'm standing at the base of my tree before I start climbing, I'll just clip that on there. Then when I'm climbing, my platform is right there on my butt. And when I get to hunting height, I reach back there, just let it off, and I'm able to put on my platform. The last thing that I've added to this saddle, and I just started using it on my late season trip this last go around, is saddle suspenders. And I'll be honest, I did not think that saddle suspenders would be something that added enough value to my setup to warrant taking into the woods with me. I saw it as more of an extra step and something that I didn't really care to use. But after using it, I highly recommend them. Basically what it does is it prevents your saddle from slipping down or sagging down on your butt. And I notice it most when I'm climbing the tree. When I have that platform hanging on the back of my saddle, I got the sticks weighing me down, and I got a backpack kind of pushing down on my saddle. That's gonna hold everything nice and tight, and I don't have to worry about it falling down my butt. So again, saddle suspenders, I don't think they're very expensive. I highly recommend them. It's just like the chef's kiss, like round out your perfect saddle system right here. And one thing I'll add is I'll link to all of these products down below in the description, as well as actually spell out the names of all of them. So if you guys want to get the same exact setup, just check the description and I'll help you out there. One last thing on the saddle that I'll show you is on my lines, and again, I'm not going to pull them out of the dump pouch, but I have all of my carabiners wrapped in hockey tape, and that's just to minimize the amount of metal to metal contact. So if I'm passing this around the tree and it hits something hard, I don't want it to make a lot of noise. So it's just going to help prevent it from making unnecessary noise, so that way you're not spooking deer before your hunt even begins. So next you need a way to actually get into the tree, and these are the Carbon Speed Series sticks from Latitude. I've had these ones for 2 full seasons I think now, and I've beat the heck out of them. This last season I hunted over 4 full months, and I use these every single time into the woods. These things are super lightweight. They're one of the lighter sticks on the market. I'm holding them up with my pinky right here, but I really enjoy a climbing method like this. There's other ones out there that are more complicated in my opinion. There's one sticking and a lot of different rope methods. I go by the keep it simple, stupid method. I like this. It's like climbing a ladder. It's simple, it's lightweight, it makes sense to me. So I have some modifications done to these, and I'm not gonna explain all of them in this video. I can link to a video explaining all the things that I've done. But basically, on each one of these, I have a drop-down aider, so it makes a double step into a triple step and gives me that much more ability to climb without adding additional weight. The only difference between these 4 sticks is on my very bottom stick. I actually have a 3-step aider. So on my very first stick that I put on the tree, I'm able to reach up about 6 feet, 6.5 feet, and I'm able to get just a little bit higher. I'm able to get 3 full steps and then the stick height on my very first stick. I don't always deploy this. It's kind of a pain, to be honest, and I don't feel safe enough doing it to have this on multiple sticks, so I only do it at the one closest to the ground. But this last season I used it quite a bit. I got very comfortable with it, and I'm probably going to continue to integrate aiders into my system. I've been considering doing a 2-step aider for all of my sticks, and again, I don't deploy the aiders every single time into the woods. Depending on how high I'm trying to get, I would rather just use the sticks themselves, no aiders. Aiders complicate things in my opinion, and again, I like to keep it simple, stupid. A quick note on these Speed Series sticks is they stack super flat because of the attachment method, but one thing that you can do, you can see the profile there, is you could take 2 off and face them, and it shaves off a little bit of height when you're actually stacking them on your backpack. So just because of the height of the standoffs, it saves you a little bit. These sticks have been awesome for me. And if you're on the fence about getting these or some of the other ones out there, these ones are incredible. I have them covered in stealth strips. I stealth strip all of my hunting gear, all of my sticks, platforms, tree stands, whatever. I wouldn't go into the woods without them. I silence all of my gear. These sticks are no exception, but that's what's gonna allow you to actually get into the tree up 15, 20 foot, however high you wanna get, alongside with your saddle. Once you actually get to hunting height, you need a platform to stand on. This is where some people use a ring of steps. Personally, the platform is as simple as it gets, and you can see it's pretty small. You're probably used to a giant platform on your tree stand. You really don't need a lot because of the way the saddle supports all of your weight. So again, I have some modifications done to this. I have a little bungee that hooks on, allows me to keep my strap really nice and neat. And then this is the profile platform from Latitude, and you can see how flat that packs, and that makes it really nice for transporting it into the field. But the way they've been able to achieve that is this folding standoff right here. There's just a little thumb screw that tightens that down and locks it into place, and now that standoff looks like any other saddle hunting platform. And then you just use this friction strap, put it around the tree, and you're able to get that real tight. But what I really like about this platform is this downward angle on the front edge. When I'm saddle hunting, I feel the most pressure on my feet right on that front edge, and I always end up with my feet kind of at a 45 anyway, so this makes it more natural. You have a lot more surface area where your feet are actually coming in contact with the platform, and it alleviates a lot of that pressure. So they absolutely crushed it with this design, between how well it transports and then the shape of this allows you to step around it and position yourself for shot opportunities while still being a large enough platform to stand up and use it more like a tree stand. On my last hunt of the year, I actually stood on this the entire time like a tree stand with my back to the tree, and I actually shot at a buck. I ended up missing. I'd set up that way because of the only tree that I could get in, but they absolutely knocked it out of the park with this platform, and I can't recommend it enough. If you want to see my full review of this platform, I can drop that down below as well. I have a lot of resources for you guys, so if you have questions on specific products or how to use certain things, feel free to ask those in the comments and I'll address them as I can. The knee pads are something that I did without for my first 4 years of saddle hunting. I didn't incorporate them until 2 years ago. And they make a massive difference in the amount of comfort you're able to experience in the tree. While saddle hunting, there's basically two main positions. There's sitting, which is resting your knees against the tree. And there's what people call leaning, when you're kind of leaning back more in a standing position. And I like to alternate between the two. Sitting against the tree is a great way to rest your legs, but knee pads enhance that experience a ton. These are the second generation knee pad from Latitude. They have double the padding as the original. This rubber cap keeps your knees from slipping off the tree, which is super clutch. And then the way they actually attach to your leg is silent. There's no Velcro or anything like that. But as you can see, it's fully articulating and the top has this rubberized grip. So when you put these on, whether you hike into the woods with them or not, I typically don't. I oftentimes hike out of the woods with them after I'm done hunting. But this way, since they move with your knee, they have that rubberized grip on the inside. They're not gonna slip down your knees and out of position. So they're always gonna be right where you put them. Lastly, you really just need a way to carry this stuff into the woods. And if you have a backpack you like, by all means use that. But there's a few features that I look for in a saddle hunting backpack. And one of those is these horizontal compression straps. I like carrying my sticks vertical on the back face of my backpack. And that's because it's all inside of the profile of my shoulders. I don't want it wider than my hips or taller than my shoulders, because then when you're ducking and trying to sneak through the woods, it's gonna be getting caught on branches. This way, when it goes on here like this, the entire profile of these sticks is gonna be smaller than my back. So if I can fit through it without hitting the branches, I know that the branches aren't gonna catch on my sticks. But this is the Ranger 22. This is a great size backpack for saddle hunters. I just posted a pack dump showing the different backpack options I use and when I would use them. I do a lot of filming, so sometimes I need a little more room than this offers with all of the cameras that I take. But if you're not filming, this is a great choice. There is 2 zippered pouches on the outside here. There is a super accessible pocket right on top, and that's great for your car keys or anything else that you need readily available. And then you drop down the main compartment, and then there's a big pocket on the back face of this. And then you're able to access this big main compartment, and it has a compression sleeve here, kind of a dump pouch. But you can fit everything you need and then transport these things with you very easily with a pack like this. Again, this is the Ranger 22. It's got these side pockets, whether you want to put a water bottle or if you want to shove your gloves in there. But I'll show you how I rig this thing up. But basically, I'd load up my backpack with whatever I need in there: water bottle, snacks, grunt call, handsaw, whatever. And then I always put my platform on first, and then I put my sticks on top of that. And then you just run these compression straps over the top. Top and bottom. Tighten those down. And now you have the ability to transport all these things into the woods super effortlessly. And this Ranger 22 actually has an internal support. So it's actually gonna take some of that weight off of your shoulders, and you're gonna be able to carry more of that on your hips with this waist belt. And then it's got super padded straps. So it's a great option to transport your gear into the woods. And then I would just wear my saddle in. So when I'm at the truck, put on my backpack, grab my bow, and I'm ready to rock. Now, obviously all this stuff costs money, but I would be looking on Facebook Marketplace. You could probably pick up some of the stuff secondhand. A lot of people buy new gear every single year. It's like bows. People like having the shiniest new thing, so sometimes you can get last year's lightly used saddle or platform or sticks, and you can get them at a really good price, and they're basically brand new still. So that's one thing I would look into. But otherwise, buy once, cry once. See it as an investment in your hunting experience. Instead of buying 10 tree stands every year and putting them on different places all over the property you hunt, this way you have one setup, you can hunt all over the country. And once you get really good at setting up, it doesn't take very long. And again, I have videos outlining all of this stuff and how to do it really efficiently. I've helped a lot of people get into saddle hunting. So maybe I'll make a little playlist down below in the description, like Saddle Hunting 101, how to climb the tree in one trip, and then some of the modifications that I made to each of these items to make it as efficient and easy as possible climbing the tree. Just remember, saddle hunting doesn't have to be all or nothing. Just because you saddle hunt doesn't mean you can't still use your tree stands. It's a great tool to have in the tool belt for when you're trying to make aggressive plays and you're seeing things play out, you're observing bucks in the distance, or you're able to adjust to that in real time, and you're gonna be really surprised at how deadly you can be, how many opportunities you get when you're constantly putting yourself in the right position. Hopefully that helped, but if you have additional questions, drop those down below in the comments. I would love to help you get into saddle hunting. I'm super passionate about it because it's unlocked so many opportunities for me in the whitetail woods, and I strongly believe that it's one of the best methods out there for mobile hunting. But I appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and I'll see you in the next video.